One of the most controversial brands lately got us a nice summer refresh of their best 360-degree action camera. Is it still the best in its class, or is a failed attempt to keep the hype levels high? Insta360 X4 has been my primary action cam for a while, so let's inspect. Right, welcome. Great to meet you. I'm the Tech Mishka. Over here we inspect a lot of cool and interesting tech. And if you wonder why I started the video with this thought about failed attempt to create hype, well, probably quite the opposite, just that it backfired to Insta360. It's based on the fact that they were exposed that in some ways they do push certain creators to do unethical things, or probably sometimes illegal in certain countries. That's not really a nice thing to do. My own relationship with their marketing division has started to deteriorate back in the days when I was working on the Go 2 review because of certain questions I kept on chasing them with, and probably certain things I wanted to share they were not too happy with. Maybe I've become part of certain list or whatever. Doesn't really matter. You probably noticed the trend that in the past few months I'm doing less and less day one product reviews, because all these videos which I do, I want to be based on enough of experience with a specific product and to represent my own point of view, my own thoughts, but to be completely unbiased, have footage that is shot by myself, my own style and that kind of stuff, and not to be projections of some companies' marketing divisions. And this has always been the goal on the channel, always will be. So that's why I'm proposing to you to stay here for the next few minutes, because now we're switching tech, and that's the Insta360 X4. And as usual, it's going to be my usual kind of thorough inspection based on a few weeks of using, with a lot of footage, exposing all the strong and the weak sides, talking whether it's a meaningful upgrade over the previous generations, basically everything that you need to know about one of the supposedly best 360-degree cameras. The launch price of X4 is, as you may guess right, more than X3, and here's something you probably didn't see coming, but as long as inventories last and you can grab it with a discount, the former generation is quite close about overall performance, but a year and a half technologically do matter after all. I'd keep it short about the unboxing because it's been a couple of months after the release of X4 and you might have seen a bunch of videos about it already. Still, while I keep it plain, you can get a good idea about what's coming as part of the standard combo in case you have it for the first time. The camera design is now better than ever in terms of good grip and display dimensions, and you may notice it also gets a minor upscale from X3, which could be a major factor for deciding whether you should take it or not. In case this is not your first X-series Insta360 camera, it definitely feels very familiar, and I love the fact that Insta360 build on top of what they previously have offered. This time around, there's this plastic bracket, a carrying pouch, which is nice but not as nice as the sleeve from X3, which I ended up using because I can easily keep it in the pocket and bring the camera in it with just one hand when necessary. Maybe my absolutely favorite feature up until now are the included in the box lens guards. These here are basic plastic type, and if you stay away from water and don't drop the camera on the ground, they will do just fine. Ordering spares makes good sense as well. If you need some accessories, I'd strongly recommend going for the protective lens cap. Maybe a tripod, there's the 3-meter long one that got released together with X3, and also you can take a closer look at whatever is available on Insta360's website. But don't rush it, because most of these accessories are expensive and better be certain that you really are about to use all of that gear. In my case, I often rely on a chest strap, from a different brand though, a selfie stick, there always are the lens guards, and I use a bike mount. Going further, if you're curious about the specs, besides the official channels disclosing some of the upgrades, I'd put my money on betting that inside there's the latest Umbrella 5nm made system on a chip. X4 continues to utilize half-inch image sensors behind the ultra-wide field of view optics with f/1.9 aperture. It records videos with up to 8K resolution in 360-degree mode. There's a bright and large touchscreen protected by Gorilla Glass. close to 2300 mAh battery, and a whole lot of shooting modes and other little software perks. Specs, and that's a really interesting topic, because if you read the specs which a company is presenting to you, might not really represent the whole picture. Probably they focus on things that they want you to perceive and remember. Here I want to mention a few things, especially about the upgrade from the previous X3 generation to this one. As a starter, yes, I feel that's a rather meaningful upgrade. Some of the things are really small, actually maybe in some ways big, because my biggest concern is the size and the weight. On the other hand, I really like the bigger display, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is one of the first action cameras which comes with auto brightness on the display, something I wish to see from an action camera for a couple of years already. Spot on. Of course, you're here because of the camera specifications, what really matters. So the image sensors might be the same as with X3. We have no confirmation, but nobody denies that. We know that the system on a chip inside is a significant upgrade, and from the 5.7K with generation 3, now we have support for 8K. But this doesn't make you're going to get 8K from any area of the footage that you're filming. It means that you can get 8K as an extraction, a combination between both lenses. To me, as a creator, that makes really great sense, because finally I have the confidence that most of the shots that I take with a 360-degree camera are gonna look as sharp as the rest of the footage I usually record in my reviews. For some people, it doesn't really matter. That's why they don't find X4 as a meaningful upgrade to generation 3. But I feel that with this new CPU, Insta360 unlock a lot of other nice little tricks that can be quite useful. So let's see about these different shooting modes and explore a lot more footage. Let's make it clear that with 360-degree cameras, post-production is usually a must-have. You're gonna have to spend some time editing these clips or photos, which is easiest to be done via the smartphone app, or for more advanced users, the PC software. I guess millennials like me will for sure bet on the PC thing. The more you zoom in, the greater the image degradation is going to be, regardless the resolution you choose in post-production. I'm saying all of this so that we are at the same page and not to get any unrealistic expectations. The big deal about using X4 is down to two particularly helpful use cases, at least in my opinion. The first one, filming regular video and then being able to select which areas you want to show in a final export. Example with biking here, I'm showing mostly whatever happens in front of me, because this is what most of us are used to seeing on other biking videos. But you can choose to get a sight of other angles, like this side view or another one pointing down, and all of these three are part of the same video track, just different points of view that I've selected from the app. In short, we can call the concept film now, choose the field of view later. The second iconic function with these 360-degree cameras are these pretty awesome third-person views. I have a lot of friends asking me how I managed to film myself without an operator in so many different scenarios, and X3 has played instrumental part of all that. X4 is apparently what I'm about to use from now on, and with the higher resolution, it is making me confident that footage will finally be on par with the rest of the 4K footage I present to you in these videos. I like the fact that the new system on a chip inside allows greater frame rates, so that slow motion finally looks rather okay with X4. And trust me, I've covered only 2 use cases up until now, and there are so many more that you can get from the camera. The burst mode, the 72-megapixel spherical photos, Starlapse, HDR for both photos and videos, the bullet time feature, just name it, and possibly it's part of the feature set. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to work on a basics or starter and best practices guide video. Even if you're not that much into video or photo editing or cameras, inside the smartphone app there are the auto reframe features that, based on AI, are going to extract the most interesting parts of your vids or photos, or at least are going to give you some good suggestions. The usual AI features that I remember from the past continue to be available. Some of them are fascinating and surrealistic. based on what we see in terms of footage thus far, I would confirm that X4 is a good update in terms of image quality. It is very stable about what it does and offers more creative features than any other action camera on the market if you have the patience to utilize its full potential. I believe that it can also be a great tool for professionals. True, there is no log mode because it is not supported by the system on a chip as far as I know, but the flat color mode is quite effective if you're careful with the exposure levels. Also, because ND filters here are practically an impossible fit, Insta360 give you the awesome motion ND option to emulate the use of such, which blows my mind about effectiveness. I mean, people who edit videos professionally are probably going to figure this out, but untrained eye will hardly notice any difference from the real ND filters. And thinking it through, there are only a couple of the many wonderful software goodies with this camera, which you can also use as a standard action camera with a crazy wide field of view. So yeah, it can work just like every other normal 4K action camera. This is the single lens mode with the internal microphone in a very windy place. The highest peak nearby my city is close to 2,200 meters. You can let me know about the audio quality of the Insta360 X4 in the comments below. Speaking of vlogging, a feature that may remain unnoticed is the support of the DJI's Mic 2, which is a wireless microphone. Sounds like now is the era of the dreams that come true for all the vloggers out there. Unless what we discuss now in regard to the drawbacks sounds too scary. Some folks report overheating in 8K, which will happen if you keep this action camera static. Oxymoron, right? 20 minutes of going down the mountain with this moderate speed in one of the hottest days of the year and not even a sign of high temperatures. So avoid static videos and you're gonna be just fine. The recordings now have just one single file, which, well, I preferred having two separate files like X3 because it gives certain advantages with post-production. Low light is as expected, not as great. Stabilization is better in these conditions than X3, though. A lot of folks complain about the premium lens guards, which made me not use them yet, and maybe the bitrate, which is now increased, but so is the resolution. 200 megabits per second are, in my opinion, kind of limiting for 8K footage. The weight of the camera is already rather too much. I hope to see the next iteration with the same quick-release mounting mechanism as the one used with Ace Pro. Anything else that I'm missing? Feel free to add in the comments below the video. Yeah, I'm that close to finishing the review, but as a conclusion, I want to touch base on three really important topics. First of all, the technological aspect. I feel that this is a big upgrade to X3. Literally big, because the size and the weight, I feel they are way above the comfort zone for a good action camera. Yes, it has become really better, but also too big, too bulky, too heavy, and that would become a problem for some sports, especially. So I really wish from Generation 5, from the next generation, to see Insta360 doing the same kind of action camera in a smaller size with, lighter construction. Probably half of this or 2/3, even less, that would be fantastic. Other than that, personal opinion, I would say based on a lot of evidence and facts, this is by far the best 360-degree camera at the moment. So if somebody tries to convince you that there's another better solution, or probably that GoPro Hero Max is a better choice, probably this person is quite delusional. And of course, I'm saying all of that a few months before the release of the GoPro Max 2, if it happens at all. Secondly, about the kind of reviews which are surrounding each and every launch, because ever since I remember Insta360, it has all been very bizarre. My message would be, mostly to their marketing team, try to target or try to involve creators who really use these kind of cameras, because that's what gives a really good idea about the qualities of the product. It's not fancy Red Bull related things that Peter McKinnon can provide, and this guy's pretty phenomenal reviewing high-end cameras, or what Mr. Who's the Boss is going to say, because, Arun is great about reviewing smartphones, but do they really use Insta360 or any other spherical cameras in their reviews? I would say no. And that's a problem with the expectations, because people come and buy the camera with huge expectations, seeing those motorbikes and brilliant blue skies, and then they turn up to be a bit disappointed in that. And thirdly, about Insta360's reputation, I think when it comes to deciding whether a company is good or not as good, I very often try to assess the way they treat their customers in terms of support and after-sales services. And here, I feel that Insta360 are doing a rather good job. But I mean, if you go to Reddit, you can see that they have some representatives who are actually trying to help people, sometimes not that successfully, but it's really good to show some care towards customers' needs. And I hope that this kind of thing is going to spread through their marketing and tech departments, and, well, having such a good piece of hardware and broken reputation could be a very good beginning of rebuilding everything from scratch, because they do have the tech, and I think could be a matter of time for them to grow up and become more patient and consistent with content creators. Well, that's my take on the X4. I love it. It's excellent. Well, not really a meaningful upgrade to all the X3 devices out there, unless you really need some of the features. But coming from any other type of 360-degree action camera, I feel that's going to be a pretty nice and solid update. So thanks very much for watching this episode. Well, it would be great to hear about your thoughts. Comment section is below the video, and we can carry on the conversation about content, unbiased reviews, and everything you want to share about action cameras. It's been a pleasure to prepare this material for you. I'm Michael, the Tech Mishka. If you want to support me, then you can check the many links in the video description area. It would be great if you can like this video, subscribe to the channel, or even better, become a member so that you can see some of the behind-the-scenes activities that I do. Thank you again for watching this until the end. Well, that's it. Wish you a fantastic day and hope to see you around soon enough. Bye.